Liberals think they're so morally superior, and leftists are so holier than thou.
Stop. Everyone thinks their own morals and beliefs are the right ones, or else they wouldn't hold them. That is quite literally the fucking nature of morals and beliefs.
You don't have to demonize the other group and blatantly paint them as just disingenuous. Call it what it is, you just disagree on morals. We cannot make progress as a society until we learn how to get through these discussions on differences in morality. As of now, our approach, it's shame-driven. When someone holds a certain moral stance or does a certain action, we are taught that that is who you are. It's not just an action that you did. Identifying with their beliefs, centering themselves, taking things wildly personal in our God bless America, hyper-individualistic society that emphasizes an evangelical view of free will and personal sin. If everyone can just use their God-given free will to just freely choose good or freely choose bad, then that means the playing field is level. Anyone can choose freely and equally. Anything. So thus, context, background, race, genes, sexuality, gender, class, health, access to info, education, those things all become irrelevant to how we understand and enact our actions. And thus our view of people, if they do bad or believe bad, then oh, you must have just chosen that freely. You must just be bad then if you choose bad. This is why our solutions to addiction and obesity, stuff like that, is always just don't. Hey, just stop. This is why you see people pitching individualistic solutions to systemic problems like, hey, just stop using straws as an individual to save the turtles, instead of like actually focusing on the corporations that are feeding into climate change. Also why we constantly see white people unable to wrap their minds around systemic racism. They think in their heads like, I personally haven't punched a black person, so I must not be racist, right? This view is why we get the not all men, or like, I know a cop and they're like really nice to me. I've never had a problem with a cop personally. They continuously circle back to their own experiences as default. It essentially allows the oppressor or the more privileged person to set themselves up in their experiences as default. Like, I had these trials, I had these experiences, and this is how I overcame them. So if everyone can just freely, equally choose to just do good or choose to do bad, then why didn't they just follow the same steps I did? And no one thinks they're a villain. Everyone can understand, like, holistically. Everyone holistically sees their own context, their own background that led them to hold whatever beliefs they hold. They can see how they got from point A to point B, but they can't see this journey for everyone else. So it becomes really easy, if you're not actively trying to practice empathy, putting yourself in other people's shoes, to just dismiss them as being disingenuous and bad for badness sake. In order to understand systems of oppression and how normal people carry out atrocities, we actually have to like look at the foundational issues, the context, all that. And when we ourselves are critiqued, we can't just jump to defensiveness, immediately demonizing the other side, centering ourselves in everything. We can't just jump to cop-outs like, they think they're better than me. They're shaming me. Like, are they really shaming you, or are you just ashamed? Like, I don't know, maybe it's something about separating like ourselves and other people from our actions. If we stop identifying with our morality and beliefs and like actions so deeply, and we view ourselves as someone who like still has value and is trying and learning and actively growing, and we view other people like that too, then I just think we can more effectively challenge and critique like everyone's worldviews and actually make progress.